Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Dan again, and today I'm going to be speaking about some updates and information we've gotten over the past couple of weeks ahead of the next dev update coming in just a few days. Now, initially when the news broke that the next update was going to be around nighttime lighting and one weapon combo preview, which on paper seems pretty fucking boring. And to be fair, I think many, myself included, thought the same about the commission's updates, so after a couple of days I convinced myself that this could possibly be a bit like that with some unexpected twists or getting some new information. Well, Steven has done that for us with the reveal that this next update will be taking place in the Sand Squall Desert and finally giving the Ashes of Creation community some gameplay in a different biome. It has been far too long since we've gotten to see something other than the Riverlands, and I'm beyond excited to see what they have planned for us.
Air duct. Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay calm.
everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
Now, with the one weapon combo preview, I think it's pretty clear that we will see the skill tree similar to what we were shown last month with the Greatsword during the fighter update. I also think it's a given that we will be seeing the mage archetype, but I'm hoping we get to see the Veilun, more specifically the Jin influenced subspecies. This would be the perfect time to show this given the circumstances. Would be a big miss on Intrepid's part if they chose not to do this. Now, for the other part of this update, the fact that they are showing this new biome off at nighttime is an interesting choice. One of the biggest critiques of Ashes of Creation's development, especially over the past few months, is the overall lighting in the game. Many have been quite vocal about this, and it has been addressed multiple times during the live streams. Now, the fact this is being shown off at night is where I'm thinking they have, at least I'm hoping they have, made some significant improvements. However, the fact that it is at night and not during the daytime cycle is a signal that they haven't been able to quite get the daytime lighting to where they want it to be just yet. Personally, I think this entire topic, and I understand that this is something that is important, isn't as big of an issue as some are making it out to be. This game isn't even close to an actual launch date, and the fact that Intrepid, Steven, even Margaret address this on a monthly basis shows that they know it's an issue. I'd rather them focus their efforts elsewhere personally. The lighting in the game will get addressed and get into a good place eventually, but that's just my opinion. Now, on the topic of this update taking place during the night cycle, the constellation system wouldn't be a bad thing to show again. They don't have to go in depth, but letting players know it's still there would be a nice touch. Maybe just give us a little sneak peek of how different it is in the desert biome, maybe just a different constellation or something like that. You're doing this update at nighttime, it's not something we get to see very often, you might as well just show it again. Aside from the constellation system, obviously seeing some new mobs or monster factions within the biome is going to be great to see. Personally, I hope the Nagash are present. It definitely seems fitting, or maybe teasing the scorpions or the big world boss that was shown for the desert biome trailer would be a nice touch. Now, before I end the video, I want to give some feedback on the Q&A portion of the live streams. More importantly, there was a question that was asked last month during the fighter update, and I'm just going to let you guys watch the clip, and then I'll explain why afterwards.
Then we've got Leonardo, who wants to know about server culture. Knowing that there won't be PvP or PvE only servers, how will new players find a server that fits their playstyle, culture, expectations? And I don't think we've ever said there won't be PvP or PvE only servers, but I think that's what people are under the impression.
We haven't, I don't think we've officially said that, but there won't be PvP or PvE servers. The intended design is that PvP events are the primary method by which consensual PvP exists for players. They opt into those. And then non-consensual PvP is governed through our flagging system, which is highly disincentivizing players to engage in non-consensual PvP through the act of corruption gaining. So the question was, how will players get to choose their PvP experience? Is that what
yeah, well, if you're new and let's say maybe you're a PvE primary player, how will I know which server to join? Like what culture is going to be best for me?
I see. Ashes is a PvX game. And so in that regard, you know, your ability to wholesale disconnect from the PvP elements of the game are likely not going to be entirely successful. Now, does that mean that you can reduce your exposure to PvP? 100%, right? And there are multiple play paths and progression points that players can elect instead to be more PvE focused. But by the sheer nature of risk versus reward, and risk including not being able to predict how other players might impact your gameplay, that is an element of the innate risk that exists in the multiplayer environment of a PvX setting. So, not everybody is going to like that. And we accept that, right? And we're not trying to build a game that everybody is going to
Yeah,
like,
it's not for
because
everybody. It's a niche.
doing that, absolutely, doing that is not going to be successful. Because there are just people with different interests. And we accept that, and we're very kind of on the nose about what we're trying to achieve, right? The idea is not to create a gank fest, is not to create a grief fest. That is not what PvX is. And so because of that, we have certain mechanisms and systems that govern the way players engage in PvP. And majority of those are opt-in, but there is always that element of risk that's governed by the flagging system. And so if you're interested in that, I would take a look at the wiki and look up what flagging is and look up what corruption is. My experience tells me, and my expectations of the system are, that they will significantly reduce a player's exposure to non-consensual PvP, but that risk is always going to be present to some degree.
My recommendation, make friends.
That's right.
Get in a guild. It's an MMO. It's not meant to be a solo playing experience. Not that you
That's
can't.
right.
It's just that's more risky. So if you like risking it for the biscuit, that's your call.
Now, personally, I don't have an issue with the Q&A portion of these dev updates. I actually really enjoy the Q&A. What I don't like is the fact that somebody at Intrepid chose this question to be answered by Steven. During that clip, you can see just how confused he is by the question itself. Nobody's ever come out and said that there's going to be PvP or PvE servers or RP servers. This is a PvX game. There is literally a questions channel in the Discord where devs or other people in the community will answer your questions for you, direct you towards that information. So the fact that somebody in Intrepid chose this question to be answered during the live stream is absolutely fucking pointless. When Steven wastes time during a AMA or a Q&A, and it's stuff that we already know. I understand there's new players coming in. Some people may not know, or they don't follow the development process of the game very closely. That's something that somebody in Intrepid, though, should just be able to whisper or post a link in Twitch chat, direct them towards the Discord or the wiki. That's not a question that Steven should be answering. So you got to do better on that end. And with that little rant out of the way, that's going to be the end of this video. So I'd just like to say thank you all so much for watching. Leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear, what you're excited for with this next update in the next few days. Let me know. And with that, thank you again. I'll see you all in a couple of days.